Hi, welcome to SBR TV. I'm Peter Loshak. Fantasy sites where you can bet real money against other people are apparently starting to partly fill in the partially empty niche in sports betting created by the UIGEA. And right now we're going to get to know a little bit about another one of the promising sites that's cropped up recently called FanDuel.com. We're going to be joined by Alex, a product director at FanDuel, who will answer a few questions. Thanks, Alex, for being here.
No problem at all.
All right, so fantasy sites, is this the wave of the future in sports betting in the United States?
I think it is. At least with the current legal situation, fantasy sports are lucky enough to have an exemption from the laws impacting sports betting. And the games really appeal to a lot of sports bettors.
Yeah.
Basically, when you're playing in a contest on FanDuel, you're playing in a one-day fantasy sports contest for money. So you pick some players within the constraints of a salary cap, and you win or lose money based on their performance that day.
So it seems a lot like the setup of an online poker site, right? It seems like that's sort of the paradigm that everyone is imitating.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. The site layouts tend to mimic poker sites a bit. And to some extent, the business models do as well. You're playing at whatever buy-in you want. So on FanDuel, it could be anything from a $5 buy-in up to a $270 buy-in. You're choosing the size contest you want, whether it's head-to-head or a 5 or 10-person contest, or a larger tournament that could have hundreds of entrants and a much larger prize pool.
Right. So when you're trying to decide which league or which game to join, how would you make that decision? I mean, is there any way of knowing who the other players are and how good they have been at winning money at FanDuel?
Yeah, you can see who's already entered in a contest, whether it's a head-to-head or a larger contest. So you can engage essentially in table selection.
Right.
You can see how much their gross prize winnings are, so you can get a sense of whether they're experienced or not. Also, just on a day-to-day basis, you become familiar with some of your potential opponents, and you get a feel for whether they're making smart picks against you or not.
How big can some of these tournaments get? The biggest ones?
The tournaments, right now, the largest one-day tournaments have a prize pool of $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some 67-person tournaments with a $100 entry fee.
So how much theoretically could a person bet a week, let's say, at FanDuel?
Well, the limit is really how much action you can get. So you can enter as many contests as you want, and really as long as you can find opponents, you could keep entering them all day. So we have people who are playing on their heaviest playing days will play a few $1,000s in a day.
A few $1,000, wow.
Yeah, and the traffic has been growing really quickly. It's up about 5 times from where it was last year. So we're anticipating that by NFL season, I would say there'll be an absolute minimum of a few $100,000 a Sunday entered in contests on the site.
Wow, and so those few $100,000, if you wanted to bet like $100,000 on a day on FanDuel, that would be, like hundreds and hundreds of contests, all with like a $20 to $100 entry fee? There's no there's no ones with
and we have some tools that make it easy for you to edit multiple lineups at once. So, you don't have to edit them one by one if you decide that you want to make a change after you've done your entries.
Right. So it seems like the entire industry of fantasy gambling sites in the United States is kind of like in a mini boom right now. Would you agree with that or not really?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, the way we think of it is one-day fantasy sports contests. And, it really has a couple of things going for it. Compared to sports betting sites, it has the advantage of the legal exemption from the laws, which allows us to take PayPal and credit cards for deposits and process withdrawals by PayPal as well.
Right, and allows you personally to not be arrested.
Yes, yes, which is a huge plus, obviously. And then compared to traditional fantasy sports, it's just a better business model for everyone involved. Players get quick gratification. They can go on vacation without ruining their whole season.
Yeah, yeah.
And for us, there's obviously more total volume over the course of the year, so we can afford to make a lot more improvements to the site than a full season site might be able to.
So what are you planning to have as unique in FanDuel's setup? How are you looking to identify yourselves in the market?
One of the things that we really pride ourselves on is ease of use. When we're designing the site, we're thinking about a format that everyone will be able to play.
Right.
We want it to have enough of a skill edge for the better players that it's appealing to them because of the profit potential. But we also want it to bring in new players and more casual players. Part of that is just keeping that in mind during the design, and we also get a lot of input from players while we're designing new features. So that's one thing. The large field, large prize pool tournaments are kind of a specialty of ours. Last year we had the FanDuel Fantasy Football Championship during NFL season, which was prize pool was $75,000. This year we're doing the Daily Fantasy Baseball Championship with a total of $100,000 in the prize pool. And we're still working on the specific plans for the big football tournament this year, but I think it's safe to say it'll be a lot larger.
Yeah, that sounds cool. So how many places do those tournaments pay?
The way those work is we actually do it as a two-tier tournament. So for the baseball one going on right now, every Friday we have a qualifier. You can enter as many times as you want, $10 an entry. And the top person each Friday, the top finisher, will get 1 out of the 20 seats in the finals. Everybody in the finals will get at least $500. The winner will get $25,000, and the total prize pool for the finals is $69,000. And then each of the qualifiers, we also are paying. I think it's the top 34 spots get runner-up prizes, which total about $2,000 a week.
All right, well, that all sounds great, and you're giving a $500 free roll for SBR. When is that? Next Friday? When is that? This Friday?
Yeah, that's this Friday. People can register on FanDuel for free, enter the free roll. They should register through the links on SBR to get into the free roll. Or if they go directly to the site, they can put in a promo code of SBR.
All right, cool. Thanks so much, Alex. The site is called FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Brand new fantasy sports betting site. Thanks, Alex.